You could be in class right now, but instead you're here with us.
Welcome to
Hot Takes
and Hall Passes. I'm Sophia.
And I'm Carla.
All right, hi, welcome guys. Today we're here with College Counseling. If you guys introduce yourselves.
I am Trisha Hasbrook, and I'm the Director of College Counseling.
And I'm Nikki Williams, and I'm a college counselor.
Okay, well, thank you.
Thank you.
Carla, do you want to
start?
ask the first?
Okay, let's ask the first question. You ready?
Yep.
What's the biggest mistake students make when they start the college application process?
Would you like to start this one, Miss Williams?
Yeah, I would say probably comparing themselves to their peers and their friends, because everyone's college process is going to look so different and everyone has their own preferences. So I would say that is one of the biggest mistakes, is that they are just constantly comparing themselves to their friends. And it's really hard to do, obviously.
Yeah.
I do it to this day, but just really trying hard to focus on it's your unique journey, your unique process.
Yep. And then the other one that I think it's combined is no matter who you are, you have preconceived notions or certain biases about different colleges, even ones you've never been to or didn't even know existed. You kind of have this idea already in your head, and so you dismiss a lot of colleges that could be an amazing fit for you just because of preconceived notions that are often incorrect. So I think that's a huge mistake for kids to make.
Let me see.
Yeah.
Yeah, it is.
How much do grades actually matter compared to like extracurriculars and essays? Because I know us, like, we definitely get misconstrued when it comes to that, and it's hard to really understand.
So colleges, the first thing that they're going to look at the classes that you're taking and how those classes compare to what's offered at your school. So they want to see, is a student taking advantage of all of their school has to offer? And then they're going to look at the grades. It's not the end all be all, but it is one of the first things that they're going to look at. When it comes to in comparison, honestly, it's going to depend on the type of school you're applying to, because there are some schools that are very what we call rubric based. So it's going to be your GPA versus your test scores. So then it's going to be super important. Or you're going to apply to a school that has more of a holistic view, and so then it's just one component of the application process, and it's not going to be again, like I said, the end all be all.
Yeah, and to that holistic review, I know that's like a buzzword, and a lot of colleges will say, oh, we have this big holistic review, but what that means is that they truly are looking at each aspect of the application. So grades, test scores, extracurricular activities, your essay, all of those things go into all of the components that they're seeing from you as an applicant.
Okay.
Now move on?
Yeah.
Okay, so put yourself in the student's shoes. What do you think they or believe that they stress about the most when it comes to applications for the admissions officers that they might not care as much?
Yeah.
What do you believe?
I mean, I think a lot of students truly feel like they have to be perfect.
Yeah.
It's really real.
It is. Especially, students who are used to getting good grades. They have these crazy expectations that if they don't get that highest A plus or they don't take every single AP class, that they're never going to get into college, and that's absolutely not the case. Colleges don't look for perfection, but they do look for growth. So if a student has shown demonstrated growth, that's going to be super important.
Yeah, and I think too, a student doesn't have to do cure cancer or anything like that in order to get into college. It can feel like it, absolutely, because there's so much stress that is around this whole process, but it's just important that the student is showcasing their story and who they are, and that's what colleges care about at the end of the day. They're going to say, okay, is this student a good fit? Not necessarily that they can literally do everything on the planet.
Yeah. But something, sorry, I'm going to keep going. But I think another thing is that a lot of students stress about all of these things because they're tying their identity to an admissions decision to a college, which that in and of itself is not a good philosophy to have. It's not healthy. And so students are going to stress about everything because a lot of the times they've tied their identity or their self-worth to this random arbitrary yes or no answer, and I think that causes a lot of unnecessary anxiety, which kind of brings us back to the big mistake, is that they're dismissing so many other amazing options out there because they're so focused on one, and that causes a lot of stress.
Yes.
What piece of advice would you give to a student dealing with that?
So honestly, the biggest piece of advice is, this is going to sound kind of boastful, so I apologize, but Miss Voigt is actually the one filming right now, but the three of us, we're really, really, really very good at what we do, and we care deeply about our kids. So the best piece of advice is to just listen to the options that we're offering you, because we're offering you options and we're kind of showcasing options because we really think they would be a good fit for you. And we're also going to pump you up the entire time. Like we are going to support you start to finish. And if you just kind of allow us to do that and take what we have to say is, yeah, they've been doing this for a collective like 30 something years, then it would be, I think that would be really helpful, because we're not going to steer you in the wrong direction.
Yeah.
And I think to that point too, in engaging in all of the activities and events that we offer is super important, because not only is that how we really get to know them as a student so we can help them display their best application, but also in finding that good fit for them and suggesting colleges that they might not have thought of. So really just engaging with all of the events and everything that we do.
Yeah.
Okay, next question. During the process of maybe like Common App, is that what it's called?
Yes.
Do you guys believe that you've ever seen an outstanding essay? Like, what's the most unique,
memorable
A memorable one?
Yeah.
This is a fun one. So this was from when I was on the college side myself at UF and working in the admissions office, and my favorite essay to this day was literally the student that started to talk about their Taco Bell order. They were driving through the drive-thru, like going up to the window and like talking about their order, and I was reading this and I was like, this kid is like, wow, like where is this going? This is going to be a horrible essay. But it ended up being one of the best essays that I've ever read. And they kind of compared it to their motto of Live Moss, and like how living each day to its fullest and taking advantage of opportunities. And then they explained it and tied it to all the things that they have done like in their high school career. So it definitely caught me off by surprise, because you're initially reading it and I'm like, where is this going? And then it ended up being one of the best essays that I've ever read.
Yeah. So she has a good one. I have one. So I worked in admissions more than 20 years ago. So it's been a minute. But so I worked at admissions at this really big state school, and I still remember this essay because it had so much potential, and then it just like went down. But this essay had so much potential because this kid was talking about his international travel and exploring different cultures, and you're like, yes, tell me more. And then he spent 3/4 of the essay talking about how the toilets in Germany flush different. I'm not joking. That was the essay, and you're like, you had all of this potential, and all I remember is that they flush different. You had to pull a string, like still 20 years later. So
Oh my God.
what that means is
Did he get into college?
not ours.
Okay.
Fingers crossed. It's true, he didn't. But I think when you're writing the essays, we have an essay workshop, and then we continue to help you craft these essays over the course of months until you're finally ready to submit. So that's another thing. Like, we're going to make sure that whatever essay you're choosing to submit, it's one that you're really proud of and hopefully memorable for all the right reasons.
Yeah.
And not something like a German toilet.
Now we're moving on to our next segment called
Hot takes.
Our first hot take. Applying to 20 plus colleges doesn't increase your chances, it just increases your stress. What do you think?
I mean, for the most part, it is going to increase your stress, absolutely. And depending on the types of colleges you're applying to, then it might not increase your chances. So it all depends on the strategy. And something that we always tell students, you really should only be applying to schools where you would be happy to go.
The pressure to have your entire future figured out at 17 is unrealistic. I know, I feel like. Correct.
I mean, I think like that is what college is for. Is for you to grow and mature and find your dislikes and likes and what you want to do for the rest of your life. That is the point of college, is for you to grow in that way. So you definitely don't need to have everything figured out.
Thank you so much for watching
Hot takes.
and Hall Passes.